What do you get when you combine a talent for painting with a love of rock collecting? For Caitlin Albritton, these passions have led to a career in jewelry making. Let's visit the artist at her home studio in Tampa.
I'm Caitlin Albritton, and I'm a lapidary jeweler. Lapidary is the art of cutting stones, and I cut these stones to fit very specific channels into my jewelry, and that technique is called inlay. So the Skyway exhibition is this amazing exhibition where the curators select local artists from the whole Tampa Bay area.
Caitlin's work is an excellent fit in the Skyway exhibition, as it is the only jewelry-based practice represented in the exhibition here at the Ringling Museum. So her work really helps redefine what is considered fine art and what can be included in a formal exhibition at a museum such as the Ringling.
So I've always been doing art ever since I was little. What I do now, I'd like to say I kind of merge my passions of both rock hounding and painting. Growing up in Florida, I'm a Florida native, and there's always this culture of pirate lore and treasure. So I've always been really interested in hunting treasure, not just, gold, but also treasures of the earth. Then I'll go to the painting side of it. I've always been painting since I was little. It wasn't until I was in high school that I started to make more meaningful paintings. At that time, I really suffered from a bad eating disorder. I had a lot of the problems of, me versus me at that time. So I was making kind of more figurative based works at that time. And even into college, I was always making kind of works about the figure and the body, because I was kind of trying to wrap my head around the issues that I was going through at that time. Eating disorder problems never really go away, but I like to say that my figurative jewelry are kind of like tiny talismans of inner strength for me. I really like this quote that I'm going to read real quick. It's by the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. It's, "Water is fluid, soft, and yielding, but water will wear away a rock, which is rigid and cannot yield. As a rule, whatever is fluid, soft, and yielding will overcome whatever is rigid and hard. This is another paradox. What is soft is strong." I thought of that strength as the internal voice that I have. Am I going to use the hammer voice today, speaking to myself, or am I going to use like the soft flowing river when I speak to myself? So that's where I wanted to come from in terms of like trying to portray inner strength, because that is really hard to do. So that's how I kind of combine my passions of rock hounding and the painting.
She produces wearable paintings. That's how I would describe her jewelry. Her pieces remind me of some of the paintings by various artists from across art history, like some of the Impressionists or Fauvists, artists working in Art Nouveau, such as Henri Matisse or Gustav Klimt. So she really also uses bold outline, vibrant colors to portray motion, movement, and emotions of her figures.
I did go to school for arts. I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. That's where I got my undergrad degree in painting. And then after that, I went to Maryland Institute College of Art, where I got a studio art degree also in painting. During our travels out west, I came across a lot of Native American jewelry. So that really, inspired me, because it really is painting with different stones cut up into different pieces to make the mosaic. Arts Council of Hillsborough County does grants for professional development for artists. And I applied to take some classes at William Holland School of Lapidary Arts in Young Harris, Georgia. So I went up there for 3 weeks. I learned how to do inlay and intarsia, which are two different ways of making mosaics out of stone. And after that, I put my paintbrushes down and I haven't touched them since, because this is my life passion. I really knew immediately that this is what I was meant to do for the rest of my life. Some of the stones I use in my jewelry are actually things that I've personally found in mine, but a lot of times I source them from friends that are miners. So I get my materials from all over the world, basically.
she uses such a wide variety of different stones, from jaspers to agates, obsidians, jade, but also turquoise and coral. So her palette of stones is quite wide-ranging.
So everything usually starts with a drawing, and then from there I make like a little template that I use to bend my wires. So once I have that all pulled together, I'll solder all the joints together. So I have like pretty much like a little framework. Then I can start picking my color palette. And that's usually the time that takes me the longest, because I like to look through my stones and feel like, what's the feeling of this piece that I want to kind of get across. So then after I have all the stones cut, I can epoxy it in place, and then a little extra cleanup, and then it's all done.
So what I really admire about Caitlin Albritton is not only is she a very skilled and fantastic artist, but her willingness to share that knowledge with other people.
Think about making some of those things you could have never dreamed of making before, like those Native American style cups you've been drooling over for years now. I'm here to help you demystify these difficult looking techniques, and I share everything I do with you with the goal that you can easily do this on your own without any hangups.
With lapidary arts, there's a lot of confinements, like you can't make your own color palette, you have to work with what Mother Nature gives you. But I think there's a lot of freedom in having this confinement. Like what you're gonna choose for dinner. Having too many choices is kind of problematic. It makes it really hard. So working within these limitations of what these kind of art forms have is really liberating and really exciting for me.
To see more of Caitlin's jewelry, go to c-albritton.com.